Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly. Morgan horse Sadie being trained to drive a cart. Mini Zebu heifer Susie being trained to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learning to pull a harrow. We are now working with our Morgan mares on pulling objects.
Today is a new session with Semi, and then we're going to also bring out Eve if all goes well. Semi has been kind of on furlough because we have a little bit of favoring of the left front on small circles in counterclockwise direction at the jog. So a couple times a week we check her out to see. Okay, Rosie, can you go over there in the shade? Let me zoom in on her legs and go both directions. I know you just went counterclockwise. Let's go clockwise, which we haven't seen the favoring. We think that this possibly is a pulled tendon, which, you know, maybe from stepping in a gopher hole or something, which can take months and months to heal. Otherwise, her daily life is good. We don't see lameness, so I'm not particularly worried about off-limb laminitis. Okay, now she's going clockwise, and I'm seeing no favoring whatsoever. So we have a new task to do today with her, and that we feel is safe and healthy for her to be doing, and we'll show you shortly after we evaluate her present status. Now she's going counterclockwise. Now, a little bit right now, right? Yeah, about every sixth step or so. Rosie and I will both see it. So there's still a little bit of soreness somewhere. What I'd like you to do, take Semi over to the stump. I put a little mini stump in this arena. And Semi's already investigated it, but let her investigate again. And then, I'm going to set the camera up over to the left in that shady area where you were just lunging. And you're going to take Semi out there, and I'm going to come out with a rope. And I'm going to pull the stump around. I want her to get desensitized. You see how she's investigating. This is very, very important for any any kind of obstacles work.
All right, now we're working with Semi on pulling the log around her and having her follow the log, and then having the log or the stump follow her. This is all part of the desensitization process. So first, I'm pulling this thing that could be perceived as a predator, but watch body language. It looks like Semi's okay on it.
Easy, yeah.
And I did put on my vaulting surcingle on Semi.
Good girl.
So that I'd have something to attach the log to, because I'm not going to put the saddle on her yet, not until I'm sure that her left leg favoring is no longer happening. But if I want to, I may attach, we'll just see how it goes, may attach this cotton stump puller to the handle of the surcingle.
Good girl.
So her head's down. She's real curious about this thing. I love to see their curiosity. I love to let them investigate their curiosity. Okay, and now we've gone around. I think she's just fine on it. Mm-hmm. And now, Rosie, the bravest thing for her to do is to follow it. Mm-hmm. So you want her either to join up or you'll put your lead line on her.
I'll put it on if I think we need it.
Okay, so right around her, we're going to ask her to follow it. She's curious. That's okay.
Oh, she's stepping
on it. That's okay. Didn't freak out by it. It's okay. I'm going to come around here with a figure 8, go the other direction.
Step up.
And get where you think this Monty Roberts join up.
Come here.
Even though she's being faced with this potential predator, she's joining up with Rosie.
She's giving it a nasty glare. Like she kind of wants to bite
curious.
It. Oh.
All right, Sam. She's licking her lips.
Oh, boy.
That's such a good sign, such a good body language sign. That and blinking and size and head down. These are all good body language signs. All right, now Rosie's going to walk around similar to the way I just did, but I'm going to follow her, which means the sound of the stump is going to be beside her, behind her, something that she could possibly perceive as a predator. We'll see. Okay, Rosie, you go in a circle and a figure 8 right around here. And I'm going to come along kind of in the back, on the side, out of strike zone in case she does get
good girl
concerned.
Where are you going?
Making sounds similar to harness log pulling, similar to cart driving. Semi's been doing all of those things in the past. So she's used to hearing sounds and not being able to see what's making the sound.
Good girl.
Whoa. Good girl, Sam. Good girl. And it went so well, I don't feel like I need to do this, but had it not gone well, I might have done something like this. That's why I had the surcingle put on. Is it pretty tight there in the cinch?
Let me I'll check. I didn't make it too tight. Oh, I could make it a little tighter.
Little tighter. Okay, this vaulting surcingle has some handles here that I can use kind of like a rope, a horn on a Western saddle. If I wanted to, without making a knot of any sort, if I wanted to do it, which I'm not going to today, I could let Semi's body weight pull this stump, which is not a real heavy stump. Not yet. We have a heavier one we're going to work our way up to. I could have Rosie move her out, and immediately I could let go of this cotton rope if Semi were showing any stress. But because she was doing just fine and I was having no trouble at all following along with this stump, I think we're just going to say that Semi's lesson today in pulling objects is finished. Thank you for watching us, and please let us know if you have any questions. We really enjoy making these programs for you. I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Well, now we have Eve saddled up, and we've already pulled the log around her.
it is, the log is in a rope in my left hand. Let me see. This is a using horse. I can get Eve to back up. I'm going to get her to turn around. You see, I've got the rope in my left hand, and I want to start getting really facile with Eve, and then Sadie, and then when Semi's perfectly sound with her, back, back, back. Good. There we go. There's my straight back. And Rosie, who's at the camera, will show you the log. And it's just on a cotton rope. And I could dally up on my horn here. We've got my Western saddle on and pull it around, but not today. Today, even though Eve's done this in the past, it's been a long time, it's not a real heavy log. I have an even heavier stump that I'm going to use as we get better at pulling. Today it's just more of a desensitization process. And let me tell you, one of the reasons we're doing this is that we feel that Eve can use a little more muscle. So we're taking her out on trails that have hills, and we're going to ask her to be doing some pulling around here on a regular basis to try to build up some of her muscle. All right, now Rosie's going to follow me. I'm going to stay close to the camera, and today is just a demo day of pulling a stump with Firecrest Easter Eve. And I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, and I love to do things with my Ranch Versatile Morgans that are useful. Now I'm watching where I'm going. I've got the reins in my right hand. First I'm just walking around the log, the stump. Had to move it. Now let's see. This may look easier than it is. If she's going to freak out by having something being pulled next to her, you're probably going to see it. But I'm going to drop it if that's the case and work my way up in small steps to getting her to be a pulling horse from saddle. She obviously can do it from harness. We've shown that many times. Here goes the log. Whoa. I'm finding, and this is how we find what prerequisite skills we need to work on. I'm finding, although I'm getting neck reining, it's not soft and light. So we're going to work on that some more too in this process of getting Eve to pull some stumps and logs and other heavy objects, mostly for muscle development, but also for training. We're going to work on getting a better response on neck reining, because a lot of what you have to do that's useful, you need to do it one-handed on the horse because your other hand is busy. So I'm going to do this again, and Rosie, as the stump moves, watch me with the camera, watch Eve with the camera, watch my hands, watch the stump, and let's just get a feel today for how far we are away from doing this Ranch Versatile useful task, light, with lightness and with softness. I'm asking her to go. Looking where I want to go. Whoa. Got a good whoa. I found that leg pressure was very helpful here because my neck reining wasn't quite as light and soft as I wanted it to be. But if I added leg pressure, if I added looking where I wanted to go, even though this stump is a very light stump for a horse, it did take a little bit of muscle power from me because I am pulling it with my arm because I wasn't ready to dally up yet. Woo, woo. Now Eve chose to back up, turn around, so now I'm going to back her up. One-handed. Good. Here comes the log with me. Let's see if we can get her to back a few more steps with the log moving. Or the stump. It is a stump. It's an actual stump. Good, Eve. Good. Now you can see how if she started to dance around, I could get really hung up in this rope. So I would immediately drop it, and I wouldn't do this unless I had, not in this training stage, somebody here to help. Because safety is number one. Let's try to get her to back up again. I'm looking forward. Nope. Oop. I'm going to direct rein a little bit with the help of my left hand. Good. She's got her O-ring snaffle on. Back. 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 Whoop. And that was real good. That was light. That was straight. That was without stress. And so that's all we're going to do today. www.urbancowgirlchannel.com will keep track of all of the programs that we film to show you how to pull objects. And today I'm standing here next to my coming 4-year-old Sadie, who has done a little bit of log pulling, but it's been a long time. And we're going to introduce her to stump pulling, like we introduced Semi to it, just briefly, and Eve to it last session. And I have Alex here to help me, and I'm not in the saddle yet. What I'm going to do, watch Sadie's eyeballs and her body language. She sees that stump, which is here on the ground. She has smelled it. I had it up on the barrel behind me, and she smelled it, tried to bite at it, which is her usual self, being a little teenager. And I'm going to let her walk up to it and smell it. And then, because she may perceive it as a predator, I'm going to ask my helper, Alex, to walk around, and we're going to follow him and it. A prey animal, if it can follow the predator or make the predator move, feels much braver. Then once we get past that stage from the ground, we'll try the other direction. We'll have Alex follow us. In other words, this potential predator is going to be following Sadie. Now let's see if she wants to check it out. Investigation is very important when you do obstacles. This is a real stump, not a real heavy one. I have a heavier one that we're going to work our way up to. Good. She's done with that. Now you start walking around in this small circle here around Sadie, and I'm going to follow you. She's not one bit concerned. This is a thing that's on the ground moving that could be perceived other than just being a stump. She's investigating. Okay, make a circle, go back towards where we started. All right, she seems real brave, but look at her ears. Whoop. Okay, her ears are back. I'm not sure what that means at this point, but I'm watching her body language. Now, if you can go the other direction, Alex, we'll follow you. Everything has to be done in both directions. Sadie's a little bit bitey, so we have to work on that constantly. Make her realize that's not the right answer. Good. Great. Good. Now she wants to bite it. Okay, now she's stepping on the cotton rope. That's okay. Good. All right, now I'm going to walk around, Alex, and watch her. If she gets really perturbed, then let's stop and make a plan for the next moment. But we don't, actually, we want, safety's number one, but we don't want to give her reward for being hyper stressed, perturbed. Yet we have to worry about safety. So you're going to kind of walk with me and then hang back behind me so she hears it but doesn't see it. Okay, and here we go in a circle. And you stay out of the zone where she could kick up. Good, she's okay. Okay, and can you come up? Good, good, great. Now I'm going to make a figure 8 like you did. She sees you out of the peripheral vision of her right eye. That I can tell. She's watching. Don't get too close to her back legs, Alex. In case she gets perturbed and does what a prey animal does. They either flee or they fight with what they're equipped to fight with, which is either to rear up, kick out, or bite. All right, now, I think the next step is for me to get in the saddle, and we'll do the same thing. And so we're going to stop the camera for a moment. I'm going to put her bridle on, and I'm going to get in the saddle. We're going to do the same thing now as we did on the ground. We're going to do it from saddle. And we're going to first allow this prey animal to be brave. In other words, I'm going to follow Alex as if, let's say, he were a dog. If a dog who's barking at your horse turns around and skedaddles, you have a much better chance of not having a stressful horse, because the horse becomes the predator in that case. So we start out our obstacle desensitization that way, and in this case, the obstacle is a stump, which Sadie is going to learn to pull. Okay, I'm going to follow you wherever you go. I'm trying to be light and soft. I'm going to use body language. Read body language. Good. Look where I'm going. All of the things that a good natural horseman does, and a good ranch versatile horse does, we hope, in the process of learning, yes, to follow this very small stump. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, now I'm going to try to whoa with body language. Good, good. Let me back up a little bit. And by whoaing with body language, I mean, like Les Voigt talks about all the time, whoa by sitting on your pockets, whoa by bringing your feet forward. Don't whoa like we have for decades. I've always told people, whoa with your reins. That's the last resort. So I'm going to see if I can back her up. That way, too, a little bumping. Look over her head. She's, remember, only 4, so she's not real push button on this. Good. A couple steps back. Now, another thing we have to be able to do if we're going to be log pulling from saddle is neck rein. And I'm sure that Sadie's going to need some polishing on that. But for today, we're just doing like a prerequisite skill test to see what we're up to. Okay, now I'm going to walk around. You're going to follow me and watch for strike zone and watch for too much stress, and then we'll deal with it. Now, if I'm seeing too much stress, I'm going to try to disengage her hind end, move her 4 quarters, go in a circle, go in a serpentine, something to get left brain attention. Okay, so now I'm going to walk back in this direction, and she's going to hear you. They have very acute hearing, especially for things behind them. Now remember, Sadie has been even trained to cart, so she's had blinders on. She's used to hearing things behind her. Good, good. I'm going to do a figure 8 right here. She's being real soft. I want to keep her straight up between my legs. I'm doing a little bit of bumping with my legs. Good. Woo. Good. Good. That was real good, Sadie. And now, Alex, if you can come up here, but stay close by, give me the rope. And I am going to try to pull it. And it's a lightweight stump for a horse, but a little bit heavy for me. But I'm going to try to pull it like I did with Eve last time. Eventually, if my cameraman can zoom in on this, I'm going to dally up like I did just now. That is, I'm going to put the rope around the horn of my saddle, and that's why I used my Western saddle today, and be able to pull this stump or any object by using the power of the horse and the horn. But for now, I'm going to keep it free of the horn. And you see Sadie's body language. She sees 2 horses coming. Can you wait just 1 minute, Jill? Okay, we've got 2 horses coming. They're going to do some free work in the arena, and so we're going to be making this a very short lesson, but you see Sadie's attention is gone for a moment. Alex, you better come a little closer because I really don't have a handle yet. Hold on to this. Let me get the arc I want. Good, good. Woo. Okay, and let me try to pull again. If I can just go a few feet. Looking where I want to go. It's following me. Whoa. she could very easily get hung up in this rope, which of course I'm being very careful not to have happen. Take the rope again, would you, Alex? And then I'm going to put it in my right hand and do the same thing on the other side of her body. First, I'm going to ask her to back, and I want her to back straight. A little bumping. Very nice, Sadie. Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to go over here, get a little bit of arc to the left. Good. And you're going to hand that to me. If she's being stress-free, and she is, she's curious, but she's being soft. Good. Thank you. Okay, again, I'm not going to wrap it around my hand. I'm not going to wrap it around my horn. I'm going to drop it if I have to. And I'm just going to try to move ever so slightly, a few steps today, in the saddle with Sadie, pulling an object. Forward. Neck rein. Around the object we go. Good neck reining. Good. Good. I'm going to keep going since I'm finding that I'm being successful here. This is in clockwise direction. Very nice. I'm going to go around again. Ooh. Good. Good. That was a good whoa. Now I'm going to ask something special of her. I don't know if she'll be able to do it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to back. Back. And I have it back with her. Back. Very good, Sadie. Okay, Alex. Again, a short lesson, but we've reached our sub-objectives. Thank you. If you can just store it up on top of there. We're going to do this again a couple times with each horse, and then we're going to move to an even bigger log and go out on our track. Whoa. And we're doing this for multi-reasons. One reason is just, can we get our horses to pull objects for us? These are ranch versatile using horses. Another reason is it's a great way to help build muscle. These draft horses, these are like draft horses. My Morgans can be very useful on my ranch. And I want to keep their muscle tone in good condition. And so other than going out on the trail and doing up and down hills, we can be doing some things right here on the Minmore Farm Ranch, especially in the winter months, which are coming up, to keep them in good shape. And that's all for today. www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Semi, Rusty and Susie, www.thesocolos.com.